The Apache tribe, like many Native American tribes, engaged in conflicts with European settlers during the Wild West era. In this video, we are going to talk about the brutal and violent treatment of captive women by the Apache that is a reminder of the devastating human toll of intertribal conflicts and colonization. Were their punishments too severe to handle? What were the terrible ways used by them to punish women? Well, when the Apache captured women from other tribes or from European settlements, they were often subjected to harsh treatment by their captors. They might be physically or sexually assaulted or enslaved. Some captive women were forced to accompany their captors on long journeys, enduring hunger, thirst, and exposure to the elements. Let's know the punishment techniques used by the Apache one by one. For starters, women captives were often considered valuable prizes for the Apache because they could be used for a variety of purposes, including sexual and labor. In some cases, women were taken as wives or concubines by Apache warriors. These women would be expected to fulfill domestic duties and provide companionship to their captors. However, many women captives were sold into slavery or traded to other tribes or European settlers. The Apache would often exchange captives for horses, guns, or other goods. Women captives were particularly valuable because they could be sold for a high price in the slave markets of Mexico and the American Southwest. For those who were not sold into slavery or taken as wives, life as a captive was often brutal and difficult. Women captives were subjected to physical and sexual abuse by their captors, and they were often forced to endure long marches and harsh living conditions. Moving on to the next one, have you ever heard of someone cutting a person's body parts for the bare minimum? If not, let us tell you that Apaches definitely believed in it. So number 4 in our list is mutilation. Mutilation involved cutting off body parts, such as fingers, toes, ears, noses, or genitalia, usually with a knife or other sharp object. The victim was often held down or restrained while the mutilation took place, and the raiders would take pleasure in inflicting pain and suffering. Mutilation was intended to be a form of punishment and humiliation, and it served as a warning to others who might challenge them. The Apache believed that mutilation would diminish the power of their enemies and send a message that they were not to be trifled with. Can you believe how horrible the tribes in the past were? But let us tell you this is nothing. Be ready to experience a few more spine-chilling techniques used by Apache raiders. So here comes number 3, burning. Burning involved tying the victim to a stake or post and setting them on fire, often in front of other captives or members of the tribe. The Apache were known for using slow-burning fires, which caused the victim to suffer intense pain and agony over a prolonged period of time. They also used torture fires, which were designed to maximize pain and suffering by heating up metal objects, such as branding irons, and then pressing them against the victim's skin. Let us tell you that the purpose of burning was not just to inflict physical pain, but also to humiliate and degrade the victim. Did you know that the most painful technique used by them was running the gauntlet? It involved forcing a captive to run between 2 rows of warriors who would beat and strike them with weapons as they passed by. This was dangerous, but the other one in the list is way more terrifying and is called scalping. Scalping involved cutting the scalp from the victim's head, usually while they were still alive, using a knife or other sharp object. The Apache believed that by scalping their enemies, they could take their power and courage for themselves. They also believed that the scalp was a symbol of victory and a way of showing their dominance over their enemies. The Apache would often display scalps as trophies, either on their own bodies or on poles or other objects. The scalps were sometimes decorated with feathers or beads, and they would often perform victory dances or chants around them. The next horrible technique used by them was anting. This involved tying a captive to an anthill, either face up or face down, and leaving them to be bitten and stung by the ants. They believed that the venom from the ant bites and stings would slowly kill the victim, and that this was a fitting punishment for their enemies. The victim would be left tied to the anthill for several hours or even days, depending on the severity of the punishment. During this time, they would be exposed to the elements and would likely suffer from dehydration, hunger, and exposure. Through this, you can obviously get an idea of how brutal and painful the world would have been when there were no laws against it. Which one among them did you find most gruesome? Let us know your views in the comment section.